Right, I don't think I'm streaming yet. I'm hoping I'm not.
You see.
I can't tell.
Live, yes, you're right.
Oh, hi world. In which case, give me a moment. And and I'm on Facebook as well. So this is actually working. Okay, so I will bid farewell to my trusty assistant. They bid farewell to themselves. So, hello world, happy Halloween. Let me see if I can still function with the browser closed so my computer doesn't blow up. So, well, this is a full moon and a half. It's certainly been an eventful day for me. I have been desperately trying to finish my Infinite Crisis new moon video, and it has just gone up this moment. So what I am looking for now is to find out, I can see my own live stream. I'm looking now to see if I can actually, now can I turn this volume down? Yeah, right, that way I will be able to see comments, hopefully. You know, for the moment I have the one watcher, so we'll hang around, and what I will start doing is looking at, let me see, Aries is going to be the second house. I want to make sure that I'm getting my houses correct for the full moon readings, and let's have a look at the images. So far so good, and I just have to dive onto another computer, so bear with me. For someone who's all into their hocus pocus, let me see, can I share this? As you can tell, this is my first time. Right, so I want to share. How do I turn the volume down on this thing? So bear with me. For someone who's right, so copy link and then post that to my own personal. Let's hope that it works. And post, and there we go. That's the admin. I've often wondered why you can't cut that bit off at the start. I've seen other people do that on YouTube live streams, but now I understand. I just need to be able to do it all from the one device, which or automate it or something. So Halloween full moon. Now, in the full moon reading that I did yesterday, and in the actual Infinite Crisis, I still didn't really get to examine the symbols of the full moon. I did look at the Chandra symbol, or inside degrees, for the full moon, which was the one where I talked about a talkative woman with tape over her mouth, where the creative force is at odds with itself, what it wants to do, what it needs to do, what it has to do, where it's identifying something missing. In the Infinite Crisis video, I did manage to notice that it's definitely a Batman full moon, as the Omega symbol is bats streaming out of a cave at dusk, which is very much about letting things out of the subconscious, letting what needs to rise to the surface rise to the surface, because if you try and repress it, it's just going to end badly, and it's just not going to go the way that you are wanting it to. Now, the Azoth symbol for this, far from land, fish are playing, which I don't really know what the Azoth symbols are, but I do like the idea of the far from land can be far from the conscious mind, and that fish are playing indicates emotions, dreams, slowly getting prepared to come to the surface. There is very much an element of reboot with this full moon. As I pointed out in my collective reading, it's conjunct the Saturn of the end of the Mayan calendar chart. And this rather implies that it's time now for us all to stand up and be counted, but to remember what we're doing. The end of the Mayan calendar, as we can tell, it was not the end of the world. The end of the world did not just disappear. So we have obviously started a new cycle, and it's just the Mayans have gone, there you go, you're on your own. And I assume there will be somebody out there that will have the knowledge to extend the Mayan calendar, but that's not anything that I have any knowledge of. Now, the Palladian symbol for the 8 degrees Taurus, a tree heavy with apples of pure gold. Now, I have a thing about apples. Apples are always trouble. If you look at the Garden of Eden, if you look at the Garden of the Hesperides, or the Golden Apples of Eden, they cause fights, they cause damage to what is going around. I mean, for a more modern interpretation of that, all you really need to look at is look at Snow White. Do not bite that apple. But the idea that apple, that's not a symbolism that is necessarily one that everybody takes on board. The element of gold is always that element of connecting with the higher self, of bright light from the heart chakra, of spiritual protection as well. If you are calling down the column of fire and protection from Archangel Michael, people tend to visualize that with a golden light. Or if you're doing sort of aura defense exercises, you would visualize yourself surrounded with an aura of golden light. And apples show potential. Apples feed people and become apple trees, and they manage to do both. But let's have a look at what the sun is up to, because I didn't touch the symbols for the sun at all. And remember, on a full moon, moon opposition sun. I nearly said earth opposition sun, but that's another matter. This is curious. Looking at a microscope, a man sees a woman waving at him. And that's the Chandra symbol. But the inside degree, no, it's not the Chandra symbol, because this is a Chandra symbol, is a hand with 6 fingers. Now, I'll read the interpretation. A complex nature containing within yourself an extra spiral, oh, this is good, of self-obsession and ultimately superlative capacity. Subjecting yourself to grueling ordeals, rites of passage. Knowing that if you can eliminate your stark weakness, you can grasp hold of your boundless strength. This weakness is that you refuse to believe in yourself. And this is a hard one to uproot. You must, against the grain, find any and every possible way to get around your own adamant self-rejection. The weakness is based upon the karmic past experiences in which you failed yourself. Now, you assume that it will happen again, so building up strength and courage inside towards self-overcoming. Now, I seem to remember one of the symbols, it's one of the angels, the degree angel, is about radical self-overcoming. Where was I? That helps, I've lost my place. Is the path. And paradoxically, in order to forge such a deepening of life will, you must endanger yourself and expose yourself to radical crises in order to rally to your own side and come into your own truth in the midst of cutting through your falsehood, thereby reclaiming the primal ground of a form of selfhood that is mutational, wildly improbable, and just could be real after all. Now, if that is not making reference to the influence of Uranus conjunct the moon, admittedly the opposite degree, but all part of this full moon, it's almost a moon of we can be anything that we want to be, especially tonight of all nights where the veils are thin. You can access those higher levels of yourself. You know, the the barriers are just not as thin. And if you can talk to spirit, then your higher self is indeed spirit. And one would think it's easier to talk to your higher self than with spirit itself, but not everybody finds it that easy, including me. Including me. I have no idea whether I'm guided by spooks or whether I'm guided by my higher self. I just know that ever so often some guidance plops into my head and I've learned to listen to it, because I've learned that when I don't listen to it, then I should have listened to it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start. I did promise that we would do the readings for each individual star sign. So if I start recording this so I can make the individual videos easier. So here we go. So Aries, here we go. Normally you would have a little shuffle video that I'd have done off camera. But there's it's obviously not going to happen that way. It's not like I can actually shuffle in fast forward on a live stream. So let's see what we have. So working against you, we have Ul with focus, and working for you is Poseidon with flow. So that's already suggesting. Let me bring the cards up. Ooh, that's very nice. And of course it goes out of focus, because why wouldn't it be? Mars and Mercury retrograde, everybody. Give them a round of applause. Come on then. Come on, you can do this. Let's see if I can get this working. Maybe if I try to lower it down a little. Would you credit it? Anyway, I'll keep shuffling, and maybe, just maybe, with the magic of modern technology, it will right itself. Because, yeah, that'll happen. So we have Pandora with hope as one of the archontic masks of the gods working against us. That implies... until I see what comes out with it, I don't want to say what that would imply. Come on, machine. You can do it. Let's see. Nope. This is a good start for the first live stream, isn't it? Now. So we have Morgan Le Fay. Let's see if the other picture is any better. No, that's no better whatsoever, is it? Now, Morgan Le Fay made an appearance in this position in the collective reading, indicating the risk of being ensorcelled. And that one wants to come out. So temptation, and that's the sirens working on your side. I will just finish the shuffling, and then I'll see what I can do to sort out this camera. But first, right, let's see who is working against Aries. Now, of course, Aries, this is happening in your second house. So the second house is my trusty guide. Assets, finances, things that you value. So we have Hera with relating. Now, very much one thing that I was getting, and a lot of the other astrologers were talking about as well, was that this full moon is very much about redefining relationships and redefining, having each of us being able to redefine how we are working with one another. And we have nature on our side in the form of Pegasus. And I promise you we will get this camera sorted, even if it... So let's see, final deck of cards. So looking for the archontic mask that is working against you. wants to come out. Pandora again, this time with curiosity. And okay, we have, oh, there's interesting. Persephone with compliance. But then again, that's compliance with a little bit of an edge, isn't it? Because Persephone was working in her own fashion to attempt to find herself. Let's see what I can do. It seems to be this signal. Looks perfectly in tune here. And now it's reconnecting. That's better. Now let me make that a little bit bigger for you so you can actually see them. And we'll go on to here and make that a little bit bigger for you so you can see them. So now you can see what I was trying to say. So if you're a stranger to my Gods in Play readings, then this top row represents the archons. It represents the fake masks of the gods worn by the archons as they try to keep us separated from our highest purpose, our highest self, our divine relationship with the creative force. And the bottom row represents the gods in their pagan form. It's gone again. Maybe I will turn off some of my other broadcast devices, which is a shame because I was hoping to be able to see the comments as they came through, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So I know I have my trusty assistant watching on, and I've just to let you know, trusty assistant, I've left the Skype on. Let's see if this will work as well. So yeah, that, I wonder if that works. Wish me luck, everybody. There's although that signal looks atrocious. So as I say, we start with with focus, and this rather implies to me that there's an element of our focus being shifted from away from where it's supposed to be. And certainly with the presence of Morgan Le Fay, that would also indicate that don't look at the man behind the curtain. You know, look at this new shiny thing and do not look at what you know you need to do. Because with Hestia here, with Poseidon and going with the flow, Pegasus with nature, there is certain elements of things that you have to look at for your own, how can I put it, to look after your home. That there will be outside forces around that you are well aware that you need to deal with. And there is a risk here of being distracted away from these things. Since it's Halloween, I've clarified these with one of the Witches' Tarots. This one is the Ellen Duggan Witches' Tarot. And we'll see what we can get with it. Let's do the flashy shuffle. 2 years ago, I didn't know how to do this. I was all fingers and thumbs with it. You have no idea how much I practiced doing this form of shuffle. I used to do it and just the cards would go everywhere because it was never a way of shuffling. But certainly now I've started reading with multiple decks. Doing the traditional shuffle with 6 decks, it takes some time. I'm so glad I've learnt this new method. So let's have a look. Why is your focus working against you? Well, okay, that card wanted to come out, and we have the 9 of Wands. Well, going on the pattern of what I've just said, that indicates a deception that you're nearly there, which makes me think about the whole what was I saying about the cards going everywhere? So we have the Four of Pentacles with Pandora, the Two of Cups with Morgan, the Three of Pentacles with Hera, and the World card here. It's Karma for the last Pandora with Curiosity. And in this light, I can't even see where the cards have gone. Hopefully the deck is full. Right, so these were obviously the cards that want to come out. Okay, and a couple left to the side. So it's almost like you are being entranced to fall in love with some idea or other, with the Two of Cups here with Morgan, that on the hope that you are able to protect something. And with Hestia here facing off against Pandora, I'm assuming that that hope is something that is irrelevant, because if you are strength card in your home, then there is no need to be so very defensive. This defensiveness seems to be a trick, seems to be something that is keeping you from a new dream that you are wanting to pursue. And what these cards are saying, with the Queen of Cups here with the Sirens, are saying that, yeah, actually, if there's a new dream that you're being given the time to figure out, that is something that you do want to do. That is something that you do want to go for. But be wary. Be wary of false hope, really, because it's going to create some form of transformation that's not necessarily in your interest. So then we have, finally, the Persephone with the... I'm just going to get rid of that out of the top corner. That's obviously not going to work. With Persephone, we have compliance with the Eight of Pentacles. Now that's indicating to me work that needs to be done. It's almost, with the Eight of Pentacles and compliance, Persephone transforms herself twice a year by coming back to the earth and allowing her mother to be happy and give her spring and summer, and then having to transform herself into the Queen of the Underworld. And the Eight of Pentacles is a card of study. It's a card of dotting the I's and crossing the T's. So there is... It looks like if you are not getting distracted by some form of goal, that you are being told that you're nearly there. And I have to ask the question, how long is it, do you think, since you were nearly there? That is something that really, really concerns me here, because there is a flow to events. This new dream, this new temptation, this whole new sense of, ooh, I could do that, is something that I feel is going to land on your doorstep. It's something that's, that sounds miraculous, but, you know, like a throwaway line on a television show, or a conversation that you have with somebody online that just makes you go, huh, I'd enjoy doing that. I like doing that. But if you are being distracted and change it, your focus is being taken away from home and away from things that offer salvation, but it's never quite getting there. That is something that would, it strikes me there would be an opportunity there that you are missing out, because certainly, yes, I didn't even look what the last two cards are. We have the Page of Pentacles, which is my level up card, you know, as if you're in a computer game. You know, you've completed level 1, you've had your level 1 big boss fight, and now you're the beginner on level 2. And the Six of Wands, victory. Victory parade, victory. So, if there is a dream that is or an idea that is coming to you, and you've got that feeling of, oh, I could do that. I would like doing that. And of course, Aries, like everything has been this year in your astrology, it's about work, because this full moon is happening in your second house, and it's assets, finances, what have you. That's a really, really nice reading. So whatever you do, do not miss the boat. Pay attention to those small signals. Pay attention to those small signals, because it's something that, with this amount of study and working, it's quite possibly something where you're going, now I have the chance to. That's the best idea, now that you have the chance to. So I'm going to see what I can do about sorting out my camera. No, that's no better whatsoever, is it? Okay, so I will cease broadcasting, and I will be back live streaming again in a few moments.
Hello?
So the minute I've stopped live streaming, the focus on the phone camera comes back again.
It was fine.
It was blurry as shit.
Well, I could see it.
I couldn't. I can't see on my screen the cards that I'm putting on the table.
You're streaming right now.
I shouldn't be streaming right now. Well, how do I stop streaming then? Oh, this is crazy. Yeah.